Hello, everyone. I am Cassie, as you know. I was raised in the Lord and I received the Spirit and spoke in tongues and was baptized when I was 8 years old. Um, I have a really quick testimony, but just a really recent one that just happened today. Um, so the last couple of weeks or like last month, Freya's day in Freya's daycare, there's this boy that's been targeting her and biting her like really hard to the point where it leaves you can see every tooth mark on her arm. And he's done this multiple times now, and it's horrible. Like nothing's being done. Like the parents of the child who's biting, like they're like gently, saying, oh, you can't do that, but nothing like is being done by the daycare. And Freya had her last bite mark, her bite like right before we were going to go to Vancouver for camp. And so like for the whole camp, she had this huge bruise on her arm, like really big welt, huge bruise, again, a huge bite mark. And this morning, like I know, like I told Jane about it. Josh knows about it, and he gave them a good earful on that one. And I'm just done. And so I walked into Freya went back to daycare again for the first time this week, after camp, and I walked in there and I was like, you guys, I don't want to see another bite mark on my child. Like, I'm really tired of this. This is supposed to be a safe place. My child should not be coming home covered in bruises and teeth marks. Like, that's not okay. And they're like, yeah, I know. We're really trying. And I've been praying about it. And so is Jane, and so is Josh, and so is Jim. Like, we've all been praying about it. Well, on the off chance today, a while back, Tammy and I were looking for daycares for Freya, and we're getting really discouraged until we found the daycare that Freya's in right now. But on the off chance, like we drove to a really beautiful daycare, and I really wanted Freya to go in that one first. That was like my first choice. It's a wonderful daycare. It's very new. It's like perfect. It's exactly what we wanted. And Freya didn't get in. There's a huge wait list. Like Freya's, and so I put Freya's name on the wait list. Haven't heard anything. Haven't heard anything. They said it could take like 1 to 2 years. It's like a huge wait list because it's so like desirable, that school. So today, Jane and Jim and I went out to lunch, just to have a catch up. And for the daycare that I want Freya to go into, I just, in my mind, I was like, oh, let's go just drive by there because it's right by Trader Joe's. Like, why not? Let's just go drive by there and see where Freya is on the wait list. And so we got into the daycare. Everybody's like oohing and Jane and Jim are like oohing and awing because it's such a nice place. And I walked in there and I was like, hi, and Jane was with me, and I was like, hi, like, do you have anything on the, Freya's on the wait list? Can you tell me like where she's at on the wait list? Because we've been on the wait list since December, kind of thing like that. And she agreed with me. She's like, yeah, you've been on the wait list a while. And so she looks at her computer, and then she looks at us, and then she's like, excuse me one sec. And then she goes and talks to her boss. And her boss is watching us as well. And then she comes back and she's like, this is like serendipity, like that you're meant to be here because we had one spot open today for Freya's class. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah, of course I want it. And like, it takes ages to get on the wait, like, it takes ages to get off the wait list again because it's such a desirable school. And that was totally the Lord because that boy wasn't being removed from Freya's daycare. So he decided to move Freya to an even better daycare. And that was totally an answer to prayer. So I can just really praise the Lord that that was so cool. So yeah, Freya's going to a really super cool daycare now, so that's exciting. Amen.